amazing weekend, and hopefully everything went seamlessly. So good morning to you. As you know, we take a look at stories across the national dailies: the Punch newspaper, a Daily Trust newspaper, Leadership newspaper, Vanguard, This Day, The Guardian, Nigerian Tribune, and the Nation newspaper. And usually would kickstart with the Punch newspaper. But then again, I'd like to reiterate that our listeners do listen, and at the half hour mark would come up and analyze most of our opinions are. But then again, would implore that you also call in to share your own opinion of those particular stories with us. And now, without wasting much time, we'll kick starting with the Punch newspaper, and on the cover page would see that soldiers killing, Tinubu Senate order manhunt for killers, troops comb warring communities. Soldiers killing, President Tinubu Senate order manhunt for killers, troops comb warring communities. The story is on the Punch newspaper. And it says that President Bola Tinubu and the Senate on Sunday ordered the military to apprehend the killers of 16 Nigerian army personnel who were on a peace mission to the Okwama community in the Ugeli South local government area of Delta State. In carrying out the order, it was gathered on Sunday that the military combed the warring communities and arrested a lot of persons, including 3 prime suspects, as the president declared that the defense headquarters and the defense chief had full authority to bring anybody responsible to justice. And also, retired army generals and civil society organizations lambasted the killers of the soldiers and called for their apprehension and speedy prosecution in order to serve as a deterrent to other criminal elements. This is a very painful story to start with, and we obviously, if you were reading the news over the weekend, I'm sure you'd have come across the story itself. And now our president and the Senate have ordered manhunt for killers. And now we move on to the next story. Here it says on the latest news that MOU with UK firm on rail project not binding, says the federal government. Memorandum of understanding with UK firm on rail project not binding, says FG. And now strike, SSANU, NASU vow to ground varsities. Federal government feigns ignorance. SSANU, NASU vow to ground varsities. FG feigns ignorance. Textile imports, 7 others gulp 1.4 trillion naira after CBN ban reversal. Textile imports, 7 others gulp 1.4 trillion naira after CBN ban reversal. And now Adeleke moves into government house 16 months after swearing in. That's about a year and 4 months after swearing in. Adeleke moves into government house. Drummers praise singers throng Olubadan designate house. Drummers praise singers throng Olubadan designate house. On the top news on the Punch newspaper, it says here the Senate warns against supplementary budget excess loans. Senate warns against supplementary budget excess loans. And also we see here that soaring sachet water prices push Nigerians to unhealthy options. Soaring sachet water prices push Nigerians to unhealthy options. And lastly, federal government plans talks with Ghana, others to protect undersea cables. Federal government plans talks with Ghana, others to protect undersea cables. And I'm very sure this is in regards to the network downturn, if I'm allowed to say, over the course of last week. But now the federal government and Ghana and others plan to protect undersea cables, and that you find on the Punch newspaper. Now, moving quickly to the Daily Trust newspaper for this morning, the top story here reads that disquiet in CBN as Cardoso retires Emefiele's directors. Disquiet in CBN as Cardoso retires Emefiele's directors. Next year, we'll see the Zamfara varsity abduction. We are not aware of our children's release, says parent. Zamfara varsity abduction. We are not aware of our children's release, says the parent. Tinubu to CDS, bring killers of military personnel to justice. Same as we've seen on the cover page of the Punch newspaper. We see here that Tinubu, that's President Tinubu to CDS, says bring killers of military personnel to justice. Next, we see that Institute of Management elects new officers in Osun. Institute of Management elects new officers in Osun. And now, 4 feared killed in Kogi communal clash. 4 feared killed in Kogi communal clash. SGF assures youth of economic empowerment. SGF assures youth of economic empowerment. You see here also that UNICEF calls for social policy to tackle child poverty. UNICEF calls for social policy to tackle child poverty. And we'll see here next that FRSC decorates 45 newly promoted officers in Edo. FRSC, that's the Federal Road Safety Corps, decorates 45 newly promoted officers in Edo. And now, Enugu governor says presidential federalism setback to Nigeria's development. Presidential federalism setback to Nigeria's development. That was said by Enugu governor. And federal government task road contractors on cost reduction. Federal government task road contractors on cost reduction. And lastly, here we see that Edo governorship undermining Oshiomhole threat to APC chances, 6 ex-minority leader. Edo governorship undermining Oshiomhole threat to APC chances, and this was said by ex-minority leader. You find the story on the Daily Trust newspaper, so do make sure to get your hands on a copy of the paper so as to get up to speed with the stories and definitely many more. And now on Leadership newspaper, the cover story reads, killing of soldiers, military lays siege to Bayelsa, Delta Creeks. Killing of soldiers, military lays siege to Bayelsa and Delta Creeks. You'll find that on the cover page of Leadership, a newspaper. And now on the latest headlines, it says here that importers incur more charges as underwater cable caught trap cargoes at seaports. Importers incur more charges as underwater cable caught trap cargoes at seaports. Manufacturers input costs hit a 10-year high. Manufacturers' inputs cost hit a 10-year high. And now we see that Data Protection Commission investigates alleged privacy breach at NIMC. Data Protection Commission investigates alleged privacy breach at NIMC. We'd also see on the Leadership newspaper that Unity foreign investments crucial for housing sector. Unity foreign investments crucial for housing sector. Here as well, we see that Fan Milk Obasanjo Farms partner to boost agri sector. Fan Milk Obasanjo Farms partner to boost agri sector. And lastly, here we see that ICPC woos NFIU to tackle money laundering. ICPC woos NFIU, that is the Independence Corrupt Practices and Other Related Commissions, woos the the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit to stamp out money laundering and other related acts of corruption. The chairman of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, Dr. Musa Adamu Aliyu, said the commission will consolidate on the working relationship between the commission and the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit to stamp out money laundering and other related acts of corruption. And the story you'd find on Leadership newspaper for today. We'll move on quickly to Vanguard newspaper, where we see as well on the cover page in regards to the Delta killings. Troops occupy Okuama, raise more buildings. Troops occupy Okuama, raise more buildings. Soldiers deployed to Okuama community in Ugeli South local government area of Delta State have continued raising more houses in the community following last weekend's killing of several military men on a rescue mission to the riverine community. A community source who spoke to the reporters said the military are currently occupying Okwama and that several houses had either been razed or demolished. You find the story on the Vanguard newspaper. And now moving on quickly to the next story here on the latest news. It says that Igodalo tasks security agencies on safe return of abducted state PDP chair. Igodalo tasks security agencies on safe return of abducted state PDP chair. Lawmakers move to reinvent CSO's liaison office at National Assembly. And now we see that how FG funds petrol subsidy through crude oil sales proceeds. How the federal government funds petrol subsidy through crude oil sales proceeds. And stock market sustains a bullish trend as investors gain 2.1 trillion naira. Stock market sustains bullish trend as investors gain 2.1 trillion naira. Abductors of Edo PDP chairman yet to make contact. Abductors of Edo PDP chairman yet to make contact. And now we see here that Mimiko's media aide Akinduro appointed spokesperson to Ondo deputy governor. Mimiko's media aide Akinduro appointed spokesperson to Ondo deputy governor. And now moving on to this day newspaper. Apparently, so far so good. The cover page has been a recurring story from across all the dailies. We've seen as well that President Tinubu says attack on our military men is attack on our nation. We won't accept it. Here on this day newspaper, it says here the President Tinubu has come forth to say that attack on our military men is attack on our nation. We won't accept it. And this one comes with three riders that says that grant a full security to go after killers. It says criminals will face full wrath of law, describes death of soldiers as needless. And also we see here that Atiku, Obi, senators, others condemn act. And lastly, armed forces continue siege on Delta community, set for killers, set buildings ablaze. Armed forces continue siege on Delta community, set for killers, set buildings ablaze. You find that on this day newspaper for this morning. And now taking a look at more stories on this day newspaper, it says here that Soludo at second anniversary says Anambra hasn't seen anything yet. Soludo at second anniversary says Anambra hasn't seen anything yet. Moving on quickly to the next, we see as well that Bahrain second phase of sugar master plan to target $3.5 billion investment ready for launch. Second phase of sugar master plan to tackle $3.5 billion investment ready for lunch. And would also still see on this day newspaper that medical experts caution against excess salt in processed foods. Medical experts caution against excess salt in processed food. And NJC warns retired judges against scammers. NJC warns retired judges against scammers. You'd find that story on this day newspaper. And now let's take a look at the Guardian and let's see what is happening on the Guardian newspaper. Right here on the cover story of the Guardian, it says internet outage, trade payment suffer as service disruption may linger till April. Internet outage, trade, payment suffer as service disruption may linger till April. Individuals and businesses who are battling snail speed or completely unavailable internet may have to bear with the crisis for much more time than expected, as the full restoration of services is not feasible until towards the end of April. And next year, we'll see that slain soldiers, Tinubu grants military full authority to pursue justice, silent on reprisals. And next, it says rising interest rates hurt developers, impact real estate financing. Rising interest rates hurt developers, impact real estate financing. And then we move on to the next here that says Northern leaders Serap seek probe of 3.7 trillion naira budget padding allegation. Northern leaders Serap seek probe of 3.7 trillion naira padding allegation. Now, Deputy Speaker Kalu laments, no one knows Nigeria's real population. No one knows Nigeria's real population. Deputy Speaker Kalu laments, no one knows Nigeria's real population. And now we move on to the next here that says that HEDA calls on Tugar others to address extortion of Nigerians in Ivory Coast. HEDA calls on Tugar others to address extortion of Nigerians in Ivory Coast. And that is the Human and Environmental Development Agenda. The Human and Environmental Development Agenda, that is the HEDA Resource Center, has urged the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tugar, Chairman of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, Dr. Musa Aliyu, and National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons to immediately map out an action plan to address the neglect and challenges faced by Nigerians in Abuja, Ivory Coast. And now, quickly, let's see what is happening on the Nigerian Tribune. It says here on the cover page that the Fresh Benue Massacre. This is an editorial, so to say, but it is on the cover story here on the Nigerian Tribune. So you could get your hands on a copy of it and get up to speed with the rest of the story. And next, it says here that Putin wins Russian presidential election with 87.97% vote. Putin wins a Russian presidential election with 87.97% vote. And NIMSI assures Nigerians of data security. NIMSI assures Nigerians of data security. Federal government promises end to estimated billings, flags off mass metering across army formations. Federal government promises end to estimated billings, flags off mass metering across army formations. And on the Nation newspaper, same as we've seen across the national dailies, Tinubu orders action against killers of 16 officers, soldiers. President Tinubu orders action against killers of 16 officers and soldiers. And now we see here that a world without the internet is unimaginable. A world without the internet is unimaginable. I would also see on the Nation newspaper that federal government offers 450 billion naira bonds to investors. Federal government offers 450 billion naira bonds to investors. Wike, some people deserve Guinness Book of Records as pretenders. Wiki has come forth to say some people deserve Guinness Book of Records as pretenders. Accurate population figure necessary for development plan. Accurate population figure necessary for development plan. Osun monarch urges president to reopen border with Benin Republic. Osun monarch urges president to reopen border with Benin Republic. Benue PDP chieftain Utan joins race to replace Ayu as national chair. Benue PDP chieftain Utan joins race to replace Ayu as national chair. And now we see that huge turnout at Lagos Food Market Point. Huge turnout at Lagos Food Market Point. Mixed reactions trail Lagos Food Market. Mixed reaction trail Lagos Food Market. And lastly, on the Nation newspaper, it says here that experts list ways to halt rising inflation. Experts list ways to halt rising inflation. Nigeria's fiscal and monetary authorities need to reassess the strategy for combating the country's hyperinflationary trend to address the fundamental causes of continuing increase in prices. You find the story on the Nation newspaper for today. And with a few minutes before the half-hour mark, I'd like to implore our listeners to please call in on 0903 2299797. 0903 22997, or you can send us a message on WhatsApp and also call the line on 0818 2222205. 0818 2222205. It's about time for us to bring on our news, in-house news analysts, so that we can run through most of the stories and also hear the opinions of Mr. Salami on the stories from across the national dailies. Do not forget to call in, and when you do, please make sure you stick to the topic of discussion and do go straight to what you have to say, and do not use vulgar language right here on Citizen 93.7 FM. And with that, we'll go on a very quick break, and we'll be back pretty soon. So do stay tuned and do not touch the dial. And yes, many thanks for staying tuned. It is the half hour mark. It's 30 minutes past the hour of 7 a.m. right here on Citizen 93.7. And also, it's time for us to run through specified stories. And importantly, we'll take a look at recurring stories on the across national dailies. And it's time to bring on the our in-house analyst, Mr. Salman Salami. Good morning, sir.
Very good morning to you, Sheung, and our super citizen listeners. Very, very good morning.
All right, thank you very much. And Ramadan Kareem to our super citizen listeners this morning. And now, just to reiterate once again that it's important to call in on 0903 2229797 0903 2229797 or 0818-222-205 And this morning we're going to kickstart the analysis with this particular story that we've seen across the national daily resource. It's across the Punch newspaper, Daily Trust newspaper, Leadership newspaper, Vanguard, the Guardian newspaper, Nigerian Tribune. We saw it as well on the Nation newspaper. But then again, it's a story that is very heart wrenching, so to say. And here it is on the Punch newspaper, and it says, "Soldiers killing Tinubu, Senate order manhunt for killers." President Tinubu, Senate orders manhunt for killers, troops comb warring community. And also it's in the same vein that we see that troops occupy Okwama, raise more buildings. And then even President Tinubu has come forth to say that attack on our military men is attack on our nation. We won't accept it. And even presidential candidates for PDP, Atiku, and also presidential candidates for Labour Party, Obi, senators, others condemned the act and described death of soldiers as needless. And they have come up to say that criminals will face full wrath of the law. And it's like I said, it's a really heart-wrenching story. But then again, our in-house analyst is here to shed more light to what he thinks about the story. Over to you, Mr. Salami.
Once again, good morning, our super citizen listeners. This is a dark or black Monday for this country. It is unfortunate that we are here talking about the gruesome killing of our gallant soldiers. Yes, this is a sad moment for the country. Yes, it is unfortunate that we have lost fine officers and gentlemen. It is so sad that this is where we are in this 21st century. But it is comforting that Nigerians have risen above pettiness and politics. All Nigerians are on the same page on this gruesome killing of our soldiers. And I love the way the papers have put it. And in actual fact, Citizen FM was in touch with the Chief of Defense Staff. And we did an editorial, which is yet to be approved, with the title, "Go After the Killers of Our Gallant Soldiers." It is comforting to know that we have seasoned journalists at Citizen FM. Most of the papers, especially the cover and the captioning, went the same way. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in no unclear terms, has given the go-ahead to the Chief of Defense Staff to fish out these criminals who are falling our soldiers. It is sadder when you realize that amongst those who were killed was a lieutenant colonel, 2 majors, 1 captain, and other officers, making 16 at one fell swoop. This is sad. This is unacceptable. This is an affront and assault on all Nigerians. Killing of a soldier is an attack on Nigerians because the uniform they wear or they are wearing is a symbol of our national unity. That is the authority of the government. And what was worse, they were on a peace mission to Okwama community. But I want to plead with the Nigerian army that in fishing out the killers, they should please be circumspect. Setting buildings ablaze is, to me, not a good development. I agree that passions have risen. I agree that soldiers are aggrieved. Yes, they should, just as all Nigerians are aggrieved. Honestly, Nigerians are behind the soldiers. The dastardly act was condemned or has been condemned by almost everybody, including the opposition leaders. Former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar condemned it in no unclear terms. The Labour Party presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, frowned at it and condemned it without mincing words. The senators have come out to say that the killers should not be spared. They should be fished out and they should be dealt with according to the law, if to serve as that should serve as to whoever would get involved in this type of a thing. They should know that they cannot just kill our men in uniform and go scot-free. We now plead with General Chris Mustard, the Chief of Defence Staff, to please ask our military men to temper justice with mercy and to be circumspect in going about it, while we are on the same page with all Nigerians that the killers should not be spared, that the army should go after the killers, fish them out, and let them have their day in court. Let justice be served. This is the least we expect from the Nigerian army and from the judiciary. This is a sad development. It is barbaric. It's uncalled for. It's heinous. It's gruesome. And to the families of the fallen heroes, may God comfort you. And may the spirit of our gallant soldiers rest in perfect peace.
Amen. Thank you very much, Mrs. Salami, for that very in-depth analysis on that. And once again, our super citizen listeners, you can also call in to share your own opinion regarding that story, because like Mr. Salami has said, it's a very touching story towards to everyone within the country as well. And now before we move on to our next topic of discussion, let's take a quick call from one of our callers this morning. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. Can you hear me? Hello, good morning. All right, please do try as much as possible to call back on. The number to call is 0903 797 0903 or you can call 0818 205. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Kennedy. I'm calling from Cal.
All right, Kennedy, good morning. Please go ahead.
Thank you. I want to greet you guys, especially you're doing a very good job. The Lord continue to strengthen you guys.
Amen.
I come across a headline you read. No one knows the real population of Nigerians.
Yes.
I think it's true. And I think that's why our leaders are not, gearing up for hard work. Except a father knows his responsibility, and the father knows, the number of children he has. That is when he will be able to go extra miles to do work, to scatter more for the family. Nigerians, it is time we know our population. I tell you the truth, sometimes there are people in our countries that you don't, looking at them, you know that these are not Nigerians. You just see them, you know that this one is not a Nigerian. And you begin to wonder, what is happening in our country? As a country, we don't know our population. How do we, increase our workforce to meet the needs of our people, knowing that we are highly populated? That is on one side. Now I'm talking on the attack on the military men. It is something that bothers my mind. Some questions have been asked. Is it not high time our military or force vehicles begin to carry, how do they call it, cameras to video certain things? I think it's high time, because if there were a camera, there is no need to, begin to fish out or look for these perpetrators. Their images will be there. By now, they would have published it wherever they are. It will be easy to fetch them up. And I'm talking about the community. Some people are against military going into that community. I stand to be corrected. But I feel those people did not fly to that community. I stand to be corrected. You can't tell me that in that community nobody was able to cite any, fishing movement in that community. So the community should be able to provide those people. If they say that military shouldn't go there after them, then they should be able to provide those people, because I know that one person in that community should have been able to cite these perpetrators of evil men. And the community up till now, we've never heard anything from them. So I think that community and the neighboring community should be served as an example. Now, saying innocent people will be killed, was innocent soldiers not killed? I'm not saying they should go and kill innocent people, but we should be diligent, we should be very wise in carrying out this responsibility. When you see a fishing movement in your community, knowing fully well that it will bring trouble in your community, be able to raise an alarm. That's my point.
All right, thank you.
Every positive thing in Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much, Kennedy from Cairo, for calling in and obviously airing your own opinion as well. And to those who try to call in, it's a good time to still call in. The number is 0903 2229797. 0903 2229797. You can call in to air your opinion regarding the topic of discussion. Right now, we just concluded the analysis on the story that says that soldiers killing Tinubu's Senate order manhunt for killers, troops combing warring communities. Hello, good morning. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Crown, calling from Sumi.
Your name, please.
Crown,
Brown from Suleja. All right, please go ahead.
The issue of this military operation. You see, if they keep on keeping quiet, I think they have been keeping quiet. Now you read their song now. They should be doing what they're supposed to do. They should not listen to any government or any leader, because they will just be wasting them. They will just be wasting them. They are all human beings also.
Okay.
They are fighting for the Nigeria. They are fighting for everybody. Then they should give them a good weapon. They should give them all whatever they need, that at least that can secure them, that can be protecting them in one way or the other. They should give them good vehicle, a lot of things, and good armor that is protecting them also. At least all these people now, all the hear about bandits or this, that, and now they are in Nigeria. We have civil defense, police, we have all sorts of uniform men, and we'll be hearing that they are kidnapping people, kidnapping here, kidnapping in that place. They can't be able to find them in this our Nigeria. Is that how it's supposed to be? Now look at our soldiers now; they are falling them down. Are we going forward or we are going backward? We can't continue like this. If you keep on continuing like this, they will just be dropping them one after the other. Now they are not dropping small soldiers now. They are dropping the big ones so that they can be able to occupy everywhere. Please, our government should do something about it. They should do something. They should take action on it. And then they should apply wisdom. Anybody they see among all those people, no, they should not even take them to government or whatever. They should keep them.
All right. Thank you very much.
Because if they take them to police station or to their custody, at the end of the day, some big men, all those stupid people that
all right, please, let's avoid the use of vulgar language.
And they will be happy. They will be happy inside their pocket. They will be laughing because their pocket, their account is accumulating every day by day with that thing. They are using it to make money. So
okay, Brown.
Arrest them and take them to their custody. At the end of the day, they will release them. So they should not even take them to anywhere. Immediately they catch them, they finish them. That is all. That is only the
okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Brown, for calling in. We do appreciate your time as well. And please, to our other callers that intend to call in, please avoid the use of vulgar language. There's no need for name calling. We do understand that, yes, everyone is hurt by the happenings within the country and also the death of the soldiers. But, and moving forward quickly, let's see this particular story with a headline that reads that no one knows Nigeria's real population. Deputy Speaker Kalu laments. And just as Kennedy also said that a father should know the number of children he has, and that's the way you'd be able to, do things for them, implement certain policies. And here it reads on The Guardian that Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives Benjamin Kalu has lamented the absence of accurate population data to plan Nigeria. But before I move on, let's take this very quick call. Hello, good morning. Hello. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Maraba.
Your name, please?
Clement.
Clement from Maraba. All right, please go ahead, Clement.
Talking about our population, people are, you can't really know the actual population of Nigeria, because why is this? When was the last time we do our population census? That's number one. Even as at that, when we are talking about our population, how many Nigerian populations that even go to hospital to deliver a baby? You get my point? You see, because if you look at it, the average woman that deliver always at home. Then, in most cases, you hardly capture those children. And another fact is this: it is always an estimate, because if you know the sentiment that goes around when in terms of maybe even population whatever, if you know the sentiment that goes around it, you will know that the government, as far as Nigeria is concerned, the government does not have actual population of Nigeria. It is always an estimate. And that is why that's why I said, if we really want to, I think it is high time we have a collective data of every population of the country, because that is the only way we can know the actual population of Nigeria, until we derive this data of a team that will capture every Nigerian. You get it? Because one, foreigners come in, foreigners go out. In fact, there are so many factors around it. You get it? So until we begin to tackle them one after the other, then the population issue, we can now say, okay, that one will lead to rest. See, talking about the soldier that was ambushed in Denver.
Okay.
See, well, I will not say why it is happening. It happened all over the world. This ambush of security men or whatever. You see, that's why we are advocating for all these community policies. You get my point? Because my brother said something that there is no how in that community people will not say that they have never seen the movement of this kind of people that do this thing. The community, they know. But had it been there is community policing, it will be easy. And if you see soldier now, maybe now trying to raid our community today, it will be another thing. You see sentiment that we play now. It's because this, if it is happening on that side, nobody will raise an eyebrow. But now it's happening in this place. That's why they want to raise the whole community. Until we begin to throw sentiment and do the diligence. Because this security of a team, it bends on all of us. If you say, okay, so just to go back to barracks today, I don't think me and you will sleep at home in orderly manner. There is no peace in this country. Because we know exactly what we are facing today. Then clean our security, honestly, is not the best. I think something has to be done. Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, thank you very much, Clement, for calling in. We do appreciate your time. And now, before we bring this to a close, I think I would really like to hear what Mr. Salami has to say about the news story that no one knows Nigeria's real population, as this was said by the Deputy Speaker, who actually lamented about it, and that is Kalu. Mr. Salami, sir.
Well, as of today, we don't know our actual population. It's just a guesstimate, like the callers have said. And the issue of population in Nigeria most times is politicized. To politician, it is a means of getting the bigger part of the cake. And that has been an issue. But then there is the need for us to have an accurate figure or accurate census of how many are we actually in this country. You cannot plan without adequate information or data. So I align with most of our callers that have advocated that there is the need for us to have accurate census.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Salami. As you've said, and our callers have also said, I would like to reiterate that it's important to have, accurate census, so we can even know, how many people are residing within the country and how many people are even Nigerians, so to say. So it's important to actually conduct a fresh census, because if I were to say, the last time, the only census I've ever experienced in my life was when I was in GSS2, and that was a while ago. So it's important to know mortality rate and birth rate, so to say. And with that, a news story, would like to say thank you to our callers who called in today. Kennedy from Karu, Brown from Suleja, Clement from Maraba, and also those who tried to call in but could not get through to us. Do try again. Same time tomorrow. We'll be here to review the papers with you, and also to our in-house analyst. Thank you very much, Mr. Salami.
Thank you very much, Sheung, and a very big thank you to all our teaming listeners and our callers. Be rest assured that we are here because of you.
All right, as he said, and so be it. We are here because of you. My name is Shaun Smith. I do say that you have a beautiful Monday and not a stressful one. And also, Ramadan Mubarak to our Muslim brothers and sisters within the Federal Capital Territory and its environs. And also, it's important to let you know that you can catch us on YouTube at Citizen FM. Just search for Citizen FM on YouTube and you can watch what happens in the studio throughout the day right here, Monday through Sunday. Till then, stay tuned for more. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dreams.